My husband's secret family. The shocking truth about a double life of betrayal and lies. Hello, everyone. Today, I'm going to talk about a shocking secret that changed my life forever. It's a story about love, betrayal, and forgiveness. When you hear my story, it may shake everything you know about marriage and trust. I married Tom 5 years ago. He was a successful businessman, and I fell in love with him from the moment I met him. Our wedding day was like a fairy tale, and I thought I was the luckiest man in the world. After we got married, we bought a beautiful house and tried to have children. Tom traveled for business often, but he always bought me expensive gifts and always called me to tell me he loved me. I was proud of his success, and I believed our future was bright. But 2 years ago, I started to feel that something wasn't right. Tom's business trips became more frequent, his calls became less frequent, and his behavior changed a bit. He kept his phone on his person at all times, and he changed his passwords. Together, Sarah and I filed charges against Tom. He was charged with felony adultery and also faced fraud charges. The trial was long and painful, but Tom was eventually convicted. But that wasn't the end of the story. After Tom went to jail, we found out that he had a child with another woman in another city. The depth of his lies was beyond imagination. After all this, I fell into a deep depression. I started going to counseling and slowly started rebuilding my life. Sarah and I were a great support to each other. Together, we started a support group to help other victims who had gone through similar experiences. Then, a year ago, I received some shocking news. Tom had died of a heart attack in prison. When I heard the news of his death, I was overwhelmed with mixed emotions: hate, anger, and, strangely enough, sadness. At Tom's funeral, I met all of his family. We were all victims of Tom's lies, but at the same time, we were comforting each other. Now I'm using my experience to help others. I run a counseling program for victims of spouses who live double lives, and I'm also campaigning for stronger laws. Sarah and I remain close friends. We have become the people who understand each other's pain best, and together, we are helping Tom's other victims and his children. Everyone, thank you for listening to my story. I wanted to share with you what I've learned from this experience. Love and trust are the foundation of relationships, but at the same time, we must always be vigilant. If any of you are in a similar situation, remember that you are not alone. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And most of all, love and cherish yourself. May your life be filled with true love and happiness. Thank you. One night, while Tom was in the shower, there was a message on his phone and I couldn't help but read it. "Honey, I miss you tonight. The kids are waiting for you." At that moment, I couldn't breathe. My head was white and my whole body was shaking. But that was just the beginning. I started tracking Tom down, hired a private investigator to follow his every move. And a month later, I was faced with a shocking truth. Tom had another family in another city, a wife and 3 kids. He had lived with them for over a decade. I was his second family. When I found out, I completely broke down. I cried all night, couldn't eat or sleep. It was hard to accept that my whole life had been a lie. A week later, I confronted Tom, and I'll never forget the look on his face. At first, he tried to deny everything. But when he saw the evidence I had, he finally admitted everything. Tom cried and begged for forgiveness. He told me for the first time that he loved both his family and me. But to me, each of his words felt like another dagger. The most traumatic moment came when I met Tom's first wife, Sarah, who was in the same situation as me every time Tom said he was going on a business trip. He was at our house. Sarah and I cried, comforting each other rather than blaming each other. We were angry that we had wasted precious time of our lives by falling for Tom's lies.